Welcome dear children to Standard 5 EVS 1. Today we will study chapter number 19, Constituents of Food. The learning objectives for this session are: we will study about carbohydrates, fats, proteins that are various nutrients, macro and micronutrients. We will study various micronutrients like vitamins and minerals, and we shall study about nourishment and malnutrition. Children, we eat various kinds of food and there are different tastes of different foodstuffs. We know that foodstuffs have constituents that are useful to us in different ways. We shall study more about the constituents of food. The first constituent of food that you will be studying about is carbohydrates. Let's do an activity. We will require some amount of iodine and a piece of potato. We will add some water to iodine so that we can dilute it, and then using a dropper as shown in the image, you will put few drops of it on the piece of potato and observe. We see that the piece of potato turns a blackish blue. This is because of presence of starch. Starch turns blackish blue when it comes in contact with iodine. So we can infer that there is starch in potato. Sago and sweet potato also contain starch. So here are few foodstuffs that contain starch. Cereals like jowar, bajra, wheat, rice contain a lot of starch. We obtained flour from these grains. These grains form our staple diet. We get energy from starchy food. Our body uses this energy for different kinds of work. This energy also keeps the body suitably warm. Starchy foods are digested, and when they are digested, sugars are formed. These sugars are burned slowly so that we can get energy. Some foodstuffs taste sweet. This is because they contain sugar. Foodstuffs that taste sweet contain different kinds of sugar. For example, we can obtain jaggery and table sugar from sugarcane because it contains sucrose. Sugars are important because they give us energy. Ripe fruits like mango, banana, chiku, as well as honey and milk also contain various kinds of sugar. And they are important for us because they give us energy. Let us do another activity where we sieve some amount of whole wheat flour. When we sift the flour, we see that most of the flour falls through the sieve, but some larger pieces are left on the sieve. This is because of presence of fiber. When grains like jowar, wheat is ground into flour, the particles of flour are not all alike. When the flour is sifted, we find the larger particles are left behind on the sieve. This is called as fiber. These particles are fine pieces of the skin of or the barn of the grain. Barn is a fibrous substance. In the process of digestion, fibers have a special function. Fibrous substances help the food to move forward into the alimentary canal, and fiber helps in the formation of food. Fiber is also called as roughage. These are some vegetables that have fiber. Up till now, we learnt about three types of substances present in our food. They are starch, sugar, and fiber. These substances are together called as carbohydrates. the most important use of carbohydrates is to provide the energy the body to the body. Whenever we keep an oily substance on a tissue paper or on a newspaper, we see that the paper becomes transparent. This is because of oil. Oil makes the paper transparent. Oil is a fatty substance. It comes under the category of fats. Papers become translucent when a fatty substance is applied to it. Paper becoming translucent is a sign of the presence of fats in the foodstuff. Fats in our food also provide energy to our body. They give twice as energy as carbohydrates. We studied that fat gives us energy and they give twice of energy of carbohydrates. But we should include smaller quantity of this constituent or fat in our diet. Cream, butter, ghee, oil are the examples of fat. Over here you can see various foodstuffs that have fat. Nuts, meat, egg yolk also contain fat. The fats that we eat get stored in our body. If the food is not available for some time, the body can get energy from the stored fat. Over here we have a cross section of skin and we can see that there is a layer of fat which is present beneath our skin. So the layer of fat that is under the skin is important because it gives shape to the body and also it prevents loss of heat from the body. It acts like a blanket. Apart from that, sometimes we see that whenever we have glassware being bought at the home, they usually come in box which are wrapped in cardboard or thermocol or bubble wrap. This is because whenever the box falls or gets hit, the glassware does not get damaged. This is because the cardboard thermocol they absorb the shock. Similarly, there is a layer of fat inside the body. Over here we can see it protects our internal organs. An injury from outside does not cause damage to our bones or the internal organs because of the presence of fat. We know that for construction of any building or a wall, bricks are important. Just as stones and bricks are important building blocks needed for a wall, proteins are the building blocks of our body. Proteins are very important for our body. The body undergoes wear and tear continuously. Sometimes it gets injured, but the healing and repair of a body goes on all the time without us being aware of it. And proteins are very necessary for this purpose. Proteins are required in plenty during the growing years of a person's life. Here are some foodstuffs which have proteins in high amount. All different dals, pulses, groundnuts, milk and milk products like yogurt, khoya, paneer, eggs, meat and fish are rich sources of proteins. Our body requires carbohydrates, fats and proteins in large proportions. These food constituents are called as macronutrients. Macro means something that is large. Nutrients are the nutrients that we require for our body's proper growth and maintenance. So carbohydrates, proteins and fats are required in large amount and hence they are called as macronutrients, that are nutrients that are required in large amount or proportions. Apart from macronutrients, we also have certain constituents of food which are required in very small quantities. These are called as micronutrients. Micro means small. So nutrients that are required in small quantities are called as micronutrients. So essential micronutrients are divided into two categories: minerals and vitamins. So let us study about micronutrients in for much more great detail. Let us look at macronutrients and micronutrients properly. Over here you can see the kinds of macronutrients and micronutrients. Carbohydrates, lipids and proteins. Lipids are another name for fat. So carbohydrates, lipids and proteins are macronutrients. They are the main source of energy. We know that carbohydrates and fats give us energy, and they are needed in grams per day. Grams means in a huge quantity. However, micronutrients have vitamins and minerals. They are essential to maintain health. So our immunity is greatly dependent on micronutrients, and they are mostly needed in milligrams or micrograms per day. So hence they are called as micronutrients. The first kind of micronutrient that we will be studying today is vitamins. Here are some vitamins that we need in our daily life. We have, they are generally, named using the letters of alphabet. For example, A, B, C, D, E, K. So let's look at some vitamins like A, B1, B2, B5, B6, B9, B12, C, D, E, K, and PP. And these are the sources of those vitamins. So A is mostly found in orange, red colored fruits like carrots, oranges, etc. Okay, B2 is found in broccoli, okay, etc., etc. So see, these are the sources of various vitamins. Although we need vitamins in very small quantity, okay, lack or deficiency of any vitamin will result in serious disorders. So lack or deficiency of vitamins will lead into serious disorders. So here is what happens when we have deficiency of vitamin D. Our brain doesn't function, okay, our bones grow brittle and weak, okay. Apart from that, you have muscle aches and weakness. You have circulatory problems, respiratory problems. Type 1 diabetes is high risk factor, and apart from that your immunity also goes low. Apart from vitamin D, if you have deficiency of vitamin A, you will have night blindness. This is what is meant by night blindness. Normal vision can see sunset in proper way, but however a person having night blindness cannot see it properly. They see it as shown in this image. So deficiency of vitamins will give us, serious health problems, and vitamins gives us the ability to resist diseases. Let us learn about minerals. Minerals are very necessary for our body, and they are required in small quantities, and they have an important part to play in all the necessary functions of our body. Here are some minerals that we require and their sources. We have calcium, chloride, copper, iron, iodine, potassium, magnesium, manganese, sodium, phosphorus, selenium, and zinc. So these are some examples of minerals that are essential for the body, and these are the sources. So you know that iodine is usually found in seafood and mushrooms. Okay, chloride is found in eggs and seafood. Okay, etc. Deficiency of minerals will lead to serious health problems. Like if we have deficiency of iron, then we will have a condition which is called as anemia. Iron is necessary for carrying oxygen to different parts of the body. If there is a deficiency of iron in blood, the body does not get enough supply of oxygen, and hence we will feel constantly weak and tired. This condition is called as anemia. The minerals like calcium helps to make our bones strong. All kinds of fruits, vegetables, green leafy vegetables, sprouted pulses, Their skin and the barns of cereals are all sources of vitamins and minerals, and we require them in proper quantities. Being fit and fine means that we have enough strength and energy to study, play, and carry out all our tasks. Our body is growing well, and we should not fall ill every now and then. And for good health, we require something that is called as a balanced diet. A balanced diet has all the constituents in right quantities, like grains, vegetables, fruit, meat, milks, fat, etc. So we studied about food. Let us look at the categories that we studied. Food is divided into three main categories. Energy giving food. In energy giving food, we have carbohydrates and we have fats. Then we have bodybuilding foods. We know that proteins is very important for that. So proteins come under bodybuilding foods, and then we have something that is necessary for bodily processes and resistance of diseases. So we have vitamins and minerals necessary. Our body requires all different constituents of food in right quantities. If a person's diet lacks some constituents over a long period of time, that person does not get proper nourishment. This is called as malnutrition. Malnutrition has serious consequences for the person's health. For example, if a person does not get enough carbohydrates and proteins, their growth is stunted. They feel tired constantly and they cannot cope with their studies or games or other tasks. Deficiencies of vitamins and minerals can cause specific disorders. There are some misconceptions about diet. If a child eats sweets, chocolates, etc., and grows fat, some people think the child is healthy. But you eat only one kind of food, your body does not get all the necessary food constituents. Such a person would be malnourished. Children, we are at the end of this session. Let us have a quick recap. We studied about carbohydrates, fats, proteins. These are the macronutrients. Then we studied about micronutrients, that are vitamins and minerals. Then we studied about nourishment and malnutrition. For your homework, you are going to collect pictures of foods from which we get variety of food constituents. Thank you and have a good day.